Okay, so we're going to divide fractions by making one on the bottom called unit rate. So when we did unit rates, we wanted to make sure one is on the bottom. And in this video, I'm also going to use the same problem, but I'm going to be doing it a second way using the multiplication. In order to learn how to use the multiplication method, the first way is going to help us. So right now, I'm going to change the division into a division symbol, so a fraction bar. So what that means is I need to record the 2/3 on the top, 2/3, and 1/2 on the bottom. So right now I'm going to think of how do I make 1/2. So what's on the bottom is 1/2. But how do I make a 1 whole on the bottom to make it look like a unit rate? And technically we need 2. So if we multiply by 2, that we're going to get 1 whole. And to make it easier, I'm going to write it as 2/1. And notice that that's the reciprocal. So if this is 1/2, this is 2/1. Now, if I multiply on the bottom by 2/1, I'm going to also multiply on the top by 2/1. And I want to write it as a fraction as well, because on top I have a fraction. To continue, I have two multiplication problems now. On top I have 2 times 2, which is 4. And in the denominator I have 3 times 1, so it's 3. On the bottom, to prove it to use 1 whole, I would still multiply. So 1 times 2 is 2. And on the bottom is 2 times 1, that's also 2. So that is known as 2/2, which is 1. I'm going to rewrite it. So when we have 1 on the bottom, and again that 1 was 1 whole that we created, we can actually ignore it. So our answer is only 4/3. So first way, we started with 2/3 divided by 1/2, and we got 4/3 as the result. Now the second way involves us basically following the steps of the first method, but just looking at the top. So if I look at just the top view, I have 2/3 times 2/1, because on the bottom started to be a whole, and a whole. So I'm going to use that information for the second way. So I have 2/3, and instead of division, I'm going to multiply. So I'm changing this division into multiplication because we multiply. But I really now need to make sure that I'm not multiplying by 1/2, but I need to multiply by 2/1. So that will connect with the first method, which is the top. So that green that I circled on top is just the problem here now. So we change the division into multiplication, but we also need to change the reciprocal. So we use, instead of 1/2, we use 2/1. The next step is just to continue multiplying. On top we have 2 times 2, so that's 4. And on the bottom we have 3 times 1, which is 3. And as you can see, this is way less of a job, of a work, but it does require us memorizing that division has to be changed with multiplication, and then 1/2, or the second number, needs to be switched to 2/1. And that gives us the same result. The first method does show that using unit rate, it makes more sense. It's logical, but the second way is shorter, but you have to memorize the rule.